number 10 is Ariana Grande. The pop princess got her start acting on the Nickelodeon show Victorious. Over the years, Grande has taken over the music world with countless chart toppers. Like any other woman in Hollywood, rumors surrounding the singer's alleged diva behavior have been going around. Grande even combated the mean girl claims on an Australian radio show that the rumors are not true and that her fans, family, and friends know who she is, and that's all that matters. That being said, we all remember the time when the singer licked a donut in a cafe without purchasing it, so she definitely does have some mischievous behavior in there somewhere. One person who disagrees that the diva rumors are just rumors is E! News correspondent Juliana Rancic. She once said about Grande, "I think she does have a little bit of diva thing going on. I think it was actually at the AMAs, she came up on the platform and normally I stand on the left of the camera. I had to fight 13 years to get this side of the camera. It's my good side, okay? Little Ariana comes over, I feel an elbow in my side, I'm like, what's going on? And she pushes me to the other side. Funny thing to be fighting over, but as Grande famously sang, I want it, I got it." And number 9, Jeremy Piven. The actor is known for his role as Ari Gold in the series Entourage, for which he won a Golden Globe and 3 consecutive Emmy Awards for. Along with his list of awards is a list of time Piven was not so pleasant to be around. One story comes from an event put on for the charity Face Forward. In 2018, Piven was said to have left attendees of the Hollywood charity event stunned when his jokes didn't land, and then he yelled at the audience for their lack of response. The event was being held for survivors of domestic misconduct, and apparently when his jokes were not well received by the audience, the actor reportedly went into a bit of a rant saying, "This is a tough room, by the way. Tough room. I just decided I'm doing a 2-hour set because you're not giving me love, so F you all." Piven allegedly eventually decided to call time on his act, telling the crowd, "I just decided to retire based on this applause." One attendee told Mail Online he was surrounded by women who had been through trauma at the hand of their partners. The mood in the crowd was one of defiance, but he seemed to treat the night as some kind of tryout for his stand-up work, and it fell flat. Maybe he should stick to acting because clearly he doesn't do well with a live audience. At number 8, Ellen DeGeneres. She previously was known for her kindness on her talk show, The Ellen Show, but in recent years she has pulled a complete 180. BuzzFeed News put out an article labeling DeGeneres a bully and naming her as the culprit for creating a toxic work environment. 10 former employees anonymously gave their true thoughts about the host in the article. The article also detailed issues of microaggression and racist behavior from those close to DeGeneres. Of course, when these allegations came out, Ellen apologized for any hurt that had been caused, promising to do better. Now Ellen has gone from being the queen of kindness to one of the meanest celebs in Hollywood. The former employees mentioned things like being fired after taking medical leave and being instructed not to speak to DeGeneres should they come across her. One employee even claimed to essentially have walked off the job after becoming fed up with comments about her race. Recently, a clip from the talk show has been going around of a clearly uncomfortable Taylor Swift as a guest being asked to play a game that involves identifying men she had dated. Back then, outlets were incessant on talking to Swift about her exes, and she found it extremely uncomfortable. In this recent viral clip, the singer is visibly uncomfortable, but DeGeneres just keeps pushing her. At number 7, Mike Myers. The actor went from being a cast member on Saturday Night Live, known for his silly characters, to starring as those silly characters on the big screen. With all of his success and spin-offs over the years, people are now left asking, where the heck did Mike Myers go? In a 2014 interview with GQ, Myers revealed that he'd only received 15 scripts since 1991. One thing that definitely bruised his reputation was when his live-action Cat in the Hat co-star Amy Hill described her time working with him as a horrible, nightmarish experience. In a 2016 interview with the AV Club, Hill said, "I don't think he got to know anybody. He'd just be with his people and walk away. People would come up and he'd just stand there. That's what divas are like, I guess, or people who need therapy." Hill's experience with Myers on set definitely didn't help bring in the offers, but it's not the only thing that turned studios off of him. The 2008 box office failure that was The Love Guru also contributed. The cast was full of big stars, but compared to a budget of $62 million, excluding advertising, the movie only grossed around $40 million. While the film did flop in the end, Myers has said acting is more about the passion than the paycheck. Number 6, Jennifer Lopez. In December 2022, Lopez was exposed on TikTok for not being quite as real and down-to-earth as she might want you to think. If the series of videos from the app are true, the humble woman from the Bronx is long gone. There was a viral TikTok going around the app prompting people to share a time a celebrity was rude to them. One celebrity's name seemed to be brought up over and over, even more than Ellen DeGeneres, who prompted the trend in the first place. One woman recalled a time when she was working at a Foot Locker and apparently Lopez cussed her out when the store didn't have the right right size of shoes that she wanted for her kids. Another woman said she worked as a maid in a house where Lopez once came to stay. While there, a nail tech was called to give Lopez a pedicure in bed. If you think that's a bit lazy, just wait. The nail artist allegedly had to complete the manicure upside down because the star was laying on her stomach and refused to flip over. There are tons of other stories out there about her being extremely demanding and horrible to people, including workers who are there to provide her with a service for her benefit. Maybe J-Lo needs to have a conversation with Jenny from the block. At number 5, Tobey Maguire. He is known for playing Spider-Man in the first live-action movie that was released in 2002. Along with Spider-Man, Maguire also has a reputation for being difficult to work with. In 2017, the film Molly's Game was released based on the memoirs of Molly Bloom. Michael Cera's character Player X is believed to be based on several celebrity gamblers, including Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire. The character is portrayed as an extremely unpleasant man, which led to question about Maguire's real-life behavior. The book that they based the film on is even more direct, with the author making it clear that Maguire was very difficult to work with while playing poker. In fact, during a high-stakes poker game in 2014 hosted by Molly Bloom, Maguire purposely embarrassed her in front of other big-name celebs. Apparently, he offered Bloom a $1,000 poker chip if she barked like a seal. It was soon revealed that this was part of a plot to take control of the poker game. On top of that, there are other on-set stories and run-ins with the paparazzi to highlight his rude behavior. At number 4, Jamie Lee Curtis. Following in the footsteps of her parents Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, Jamie Lee has appeared in countless movies over the years. She got her start in the Halloween franchise, starring in the most recent installment just last year. Along with her successes have come some stories of the actor being not the nicest over the years. One particular instance was when Curtis first met her Knives Out co-star Ana de Armas. On the set in 2019. Apparently, upon first meeting the actor, Curtis assumed that Armas was inexperienced and unsophisticated. Armas, who is a Cuban actor, has talked about feeling out of place on American sets already, though Curtis, I'm sure, was no help with her preconceived ideas. Luckily, Curtis was able to see her mistake and said, "I assumed, and I say this with real embarrassment, because she had come from Cuba, that she had just arrived. I assumed, and I say this with real embarrassment, because she had come from Cuba, that she had just arrived. I made an assumption that she was an inexperienced, unsophisticated young woman." Armas quickly put Curtis in her place, but what an assumption to come to in the first place on Curtis's part. At number 3, Christina Aguilera. The singer has got pipes like no other artist. She rose to mainstream fame in the late 90s with hits like Genie in a Bottle and What a Girl Wants. Aguilera quickly became the definition of a pop star, and with the voice and the look came the attitude. There are a few stories out there from other celebs talking about the singer having some major mean girl behavior. One of these celebrities is none other than Mary J. Blige. During a radio interview, Blige made it clear whose side she was on when it came to the Britney or Christina debate. Apparently, Blige was not a fan of the way she was greeted by Aguilera when they met for the very first time. Blige said, "I don't like her because she has a nasty attitude. I was trying to greet her properly and she stuck her hand out for me to kiss it. Not a great first impression." Blige then said, "Oh, okay, you're headed down the wrong path already." Then Blige added, "A message for Christina. Britney Spears can't sing like you, but she will go further than you because she knows how to respect and treat her people." Blige ended her story by calling Aguilera nasty once again before adding that she's heard the same thing about Aguilera from others. I guess with the talent and the look that Christina has, she doesn't need a good attitude. At number 2, Chevy Chase. The actor got his start on the very first season of Saturday Night Live, where his recurring weekend update segment became a staple of the show. Over the years, more and more stories have come out about Chase being rude or difficult to work with. One particular project where Chase caused a lot of problems on set was the series Community. The show was released in 2009 and had a great cast, including Alison Brie, Joel McHale, and Donald Glover. Community creator Dan Harmon opened up and talked about just how troubling it was to work with Chase on set. One time, Chase went as far as refusing to film a key touching scene between his character and Danny Purdy's because he didn't like the direction of it and just walked off set. Chase's problematic behavior didn't stop at refusing to film certain scenes. In a 2018 interview with The New Yorker, both Harmon and Donald Glover opened up about the incidents that happened on the set. Apparently, Chase was no stranger to dropping racial slurs and offensive language, and this is what ultimately led to his departure. His final straw came when filming season 4, episode 6. Chase did not like where the story was going, his character's arc in particular, and he used yet another racial slur in his angry rant about it. Both the actor and the network mutually agreed that it would be better if he left the series, and so he did. And coming in at number 1 today, Faye Dunaway. The actor made her debut on the big screen in 1967 with the films Hurry Sundown, The Happening, and Bonnie and Clyde. Over the years, she has gained herself a reputation of being a great actor, but she's also known for being a major diva. Her attitude even ended up getting her sued by a former assistant in 2019. Michael Rocha alleged in a lawsuit that the actress was verbally inappropriate to him when he worked for her on the Broadway play Tea at 5. Rocha said that he was hired as a personal assistant for the actor and his duties included shopping for her, arranging her schedule, and getting her to and from rehearsals, all while working out of Dunaway's apartment in NYC. Rocha, who is gay, claimed that Dunaway relentlessly subjected him to demeaning rants. The former assistant alleged that she called her crew members little gay people and called Rocha a little homosexual boy. He reported the incident to a general manager, and a month later Rocha was fired because Dunaway wasn't, quote, comfortable with him anymore. In the end, Dunaway was fired from the play as well after crew members claimed she created a hostile and dangerous work environment. At number 10, Rick Ross. On the Late Late Show with James Corden, he has a game called Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts, in which his guests have to either answer a question that could potentially get them in a bit of trouble or eat a bit of something nasty. 3 years ago, Corden was playing the game with actress Demi Moore. She asked him to name one celebrity who's disappointed him. Of course, as a talk show host, he didn't want to hurt any feelings, but since he was looking down at a mayo, cheese curd, and soy sauce smoothie, he decided to answer. The host explained his answer by telling Moore and the viewers that in the early days of the show, Corden had come up with a musical spoof about binge-watching Netflix to the tune of Ross's hit song Hustlin'. The men were supposed to be performing the song, but I guess before they could, he had a change of heart. Corden said, "We sent the stuff to Rick's people and Rick had seen it, loved it, and was so excited to do it." But then Corden and a crew member did the routine for Rick in the empty studio for the rapper to watch. Following that, Ross said, "Cool, I'm just gonna go to the restroom." Corden said about 20 minutes later, "We just stood there and he hadn't come back." Turns out Ross decided to leave and his manager came back to say, "Yeah, Rick's not gonna do that." At number 9, Pierce Brosnan. I guess James Corden's Fill Your Guts or Spill Your Guts game is effective because Rick Ross wasn't the only star he called out on his show. During the segment this time, however, guest Khloe Kardashian asked the host, "Name a celebrity who's been rude to you at a party." Initially, Corden was hesitant to answer the question, but you could tell a name came to his mind right away. Of course, being on the audience's side, Kardashian encouraged the host to spill. Finally, he caved and named actor Pierce Brosnan. The story goes that apparently at a U2 concert, Brosnan bumped into the host and his wife, but never apologized. Corden went on to explain, saying, "I've literally never felt anything like it. His arm went onto mine and just pushed me out of the way." Corden then added that he looked back at Brosnan and he didn't even glance at him, just moved back into his area just like that. Kardashian then suggested that he might have been drunk, to which Corden responded with, "Maybe he's just a bit rude." Mistake or not, next time Brosnan bumps into someone, he'll make sure it's not a late night host. That being said, Corden is one to talk, considering not too long ago he was banned from a restaurant for his rude behavior. At number 8, Cardi B. It's no secret that the rapper from New York is not afraid to fight. If you get on Cardi's bad side, there's no telling what she might say or do to you. One person who found out fast was her Love and Hip Hop New York castmate, Aisha Davies. Cardi joined the cast of the reality show, which follows the lives and relationships of hip-hop artists in its 6th season. During a reunion episode, Cardi ended up being exposed for her rude behavior, with Aisha Davies being her target. Basically, there was a lot of drama between the cast members, and neither Cardi nor Davies had been particularly nice to each other. It all started because Davies did not like Cardi but would not give her a specific reason as to why. When at the reunion, Davies kept further avoiding the question, so Cardi B took off her shoe and nailed Davies in the chest with it. A quick brawl broke out between everyone before settling once again. This was a heavy shoe too, and it looked like it really hurt. It ended up that Davies was jealous of her boyfriend hanging out with Cardi, but regardless of what it was about, the rapper displayed some serious rude behavior. Regardless of who was in the right, there was never a need for things to get physical. At number 7, Christina Aguilera. Like a lot of other stars on the list, there have actually been quite a few occasions and even other stars who have had something negative to say about Aguilera. One specific star that exposed her for being rude is none other than the diva herself, Mariah Carey. Aguilera, I guess, did it to herself after stating in 2006 that Carey had slammed her at a party. Aguilera also made it a point to bring up Carey's 2001 breakdown. Aguilera said, "One time we were at a party and I think she got really drunk and she just had really derogatory things to say to me." Then she added, "But it was at the time that she had that breakdown, so she might have been very medicated." Now, even if Carey did have something mean to say about her, it was not very woman-supporting woman of Aguilera. I'm not saying she has to support all women, but she also doesn't have to talk badly about her on TV either. Of course, Carey did have something to say back, saying, "I'd hoped that Christina was in a better place now than the last time I saw her when she showed up uninvited at one of my parties and displayed questionable behavior." Aguilera wasn't done yet though, because in 2015, when asked about not having a Las Vegas residency, the singer responded, "I won a Grammy this year. Why would I go to Vegas and join Britney and Mariah in the Oldies Act?" At number 6, Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen had a bit of a scandal a few years ago when people started coming out and exposing her for not being as nice as she claims to be on the show. This was an especially damaging claim for DeGeneres because her literal tagline was, "Be kind to one another." Over the years, thanks to her own show, we can prove that the host has definitely had her fair share of rude moments. One moment that was particularly rude was when she made fun of a fan gift. DeGeneres was doing a segment on her show where she was talking about bad gifts that had been submitted by her viewers. At the end of the segment, she included a bad gift of her own, revealing a gift that she said was from a fan called JB. When she revealed the gift, it was a painting of both her and her wife Portia. The host joked, "It's called Ellen and Portia number 10. He took 10 tries, but he finally got it. He got it on number 10. DeGeneres threw a few digs at the painting, also indicating that it looked more like Ryan Seacrest and Kelly Ripa, saying she might have to gift it to them instead. To really drive home on how much she hated the handmade fan gift, she called it scary. And this is hardly the only time that she poked fun at her own viewers either. At number 5, Howard Stern. There have been countless times that Stern has exposed himself for being mean over the years, and I think hosting a live show has had a hand in that. Back in 2001, Stern had Freddie Prinze Jr. on the show, and he told the actor that his engagement and marriage to Sarah Michelle Gellar wouldn't last 10 years. Prinze and Gellar met on the set of famous horror flick I Know What You Did Last Summer and quickly became relationship goals within Hollywood. For some reason, Stern decided to share his thoughts on their relationship, which ended up being that they would spend a brief period of time sleeping together before going their separate ways. Stern was actually so confident in his own opinion that he put a large sum of money on the line. Stern bet Prinze $1 million that the couple wouldn't last long. In the interview, Stern said, "What are you gonna do when it's been 10 years with the same chick? You're gonna cheat." Despite the actor responding, "No, I'm not," to his quite rude assumption, Stern said, "I want to make a written bet with you now. In about 10 years, you're gonna hunt me down and go, 'Howard, I owe you money.'" Well, 10 years later, the couple is still together and they did not forget the bet. In 2022, Gellar took to Instagram to remind Stern of his debt, writing, "I think you owe us." At number 4, Mariah Carey. I mentioned the singer when talking about Aguilera being mean to her, but don't be fooled, Carey has had plenty of times where she was being exposed for her not so nice behavior too. One time, Carey was exposed for her rude behavior by her short-lived fellow American Idol judge, Nicki Minaj. The pair started as good friends, collaborating in 2009, with Minaj even praising her for being a sweet, down-to-earth person after expecting a diva. Minaj ended up speaking too soon because she eventually got a taste of that diva behavior. The women did not get along while both being judges on season 12 of American Idol. In 2013, the rapper opened up about her experience working with Carey, and it was totally different from her previous thoughts on Carey. Minaj spoke to Ellen DeGeneres, telling her that initially Minaj had heard that Carey did not want her on the panel, but she didn't believe it. However, when they did begin to work together, Minaj started to feel the shade, and that rumor she heard was sounding less and less like a rumor and more like a fact. Minaj even said that Carey overcompensated by being even crazier. Neither artist ended up returning to the show, and Fox executive Mike Darnell backed up Minaj when he said Minaj was not the problem, blaming Carey for the fighting. At number 3, Wendy Williams. The Wendy Williams Show was on the air from 2008 all the way until 2022. That is 14 years of live TV talking with and about celebrities. With Williams, that also means 14 years of messy moments on the air. No one has ever had to come out and expose the host for her rude behavior because she does it all on her own. Williams once referred to actor Terry Crews coming forward and speaking out about his essay as not brave because he was just talking. Williams also once asked 18-year-old Marcus Scriber if he'd ever had sex before live on the show with the actor's father watching just off camera. He was clearly uncomfortable with the question and avoided giving the answer. Basically, Williams spent a decade making fun of the stars because the host also once made fun of Ariana Grande's appearance, claiming that because she's too small, she's not a woman. Williams said, "When you look too young and then you're short, she's only like 4'11", like I don't look at her as like a woman." Clearly, Williams has always truly said whatever comes to her mind, and unfortunately, it's often just mean. These examples don't even begin to scratch the surface either. At number 2, Barbara Walters. There seems to be a theme between celebrity interviews and the host not being nice. One woman known for her persistence for a story, even when inappropriate, is Barbara Walters. She has had many instances instances of being rude on air, but one particularly mean interview is her infamous one from 2000 with Ricky Martin. At the time, there were rumors going around surrounding Martin's sexuality. While so many people assumed Martin was gay, the singer did not go public about his sexuality until he published his 2011 memoir. During his interview with Walters, she urged Martin to stop these rumors and define his sexuality. Not only is it rude, it's just so unnecessary. I'm sure he had plenty of other things to talk about instead. Walters said, "You could say yes, I am gay, or no I'm not." Martin then replied, "Barbara, for some reason I just don't feel like it." Over 2 decades later in 2021, Martin said when she dropped the question, "I felt violated because I was just not ready to come out. I was very afraid." The singer also revealed that he suffers from PTSD stemming from the interview with Walters. There are plenty of other instances throughout her long career that Walters was exposed for being mean too. Ricky Martin is unfortunately just one of many. And at number 1, Madonna. Over the years, Cher and Madonna have not gotten along so well, and we know that because Cher has told us so on more than one occasion. When it comes to a few interviews though, I'm not sure which woman is being exposed for being mean. On one hand, Cher is telling us how rude Madonna is, and on the other hand, Cher is sitting on live TV trashing Madonna. Once, when asked about Madonna, Cher said, "There's something about her that I don't like. She's mean. I remember having her over to my house a couple times. She was just so rude to everybody. She acts like a spoiled brat all the time." Then directed towards Madonna, she said, "You should be a little more magnanimous and a little bit less of a C word." Of course, Cher used the actual word, and in doing so, shocked the interviewer. I mean, maybe she's totally right and Madonna was really rude to her, but then again, she's saying some pretty mean things to the world. In another interview, Cher said about Madonna, she's unbelievably creative because she's not unbelievably talented. She's not beautiful, but she's rude.
Starting off with number 10, Jared Leto. Since a few of you said that I should have included Jared Leto in my part 2, here he is in part 3. So this one is straight from his Mean Stars profile, which I talked a bit about before, where he has a few comments from people stating that they had really bad interactions with him. So one of the people on Mean Stars wrote, quote, "I went to see 30 Seconds to Mars a few years ago and got front row tickets. The band was autographing things after the show, so I waited in line. They all talked amongst themselves as they absentmindedly signed autographs. When I got to Jared Leto, I said, 'Hey, that was a great show.' He responded, quote, 'I signed your shit, now F off.'" Okay, what? This is just unreal to me. Like, I think I'm actually speechless about this one. Like, how could he actually say that to a fan? Jared, come on. Then next up at number 9, Michael Phelps. So Michael Phelps is another celebrity that is known for having quite a mean streak. And it's so bad that another athlete felt the need to call him out publicly about it. In an interview, Ronda Rousey was asked if there was an Olympian that wasn't very nice, but they had a public persona of being nice. Without hesitation, she replied, "Michael Phelps kind of annoyed me." Then she went on to tell a story of when she was in Beijing for the Olympics, and the American team was mingling together at a club. And she said the only Olympian that did not interact with the rest of the group was Phelps. Rousey commented further, saying, quote, "Michael Phelps needed his own private section of the club to be like private for him. All of these NBA players are a bigger deal than this guy, and they are hanging out with the rest of us." She added, "We're your teammates. We're not a bunch of groupies. Come hang out with us," she said. And then, since she did not already shade him enough, she continued that the same thing happened on the Oprah Winfrey show. When a bunch of Olympians were on the show, Phelps again was held back in a private area so that he wouldn't have to be harassed by the other Olympians. Then after all of this came out, Phelps spoke to Details magazine, where he admitted that he used to contrive early exits from practice and sneak out the back door, presumably so he could get to the club early and avoid running into Ronda Rousey. And guys, trust me when I say there is a lot more stories about Phelps. So yeah, I'm assuming he must be pretty mean in real life. Next up at number 8, Deadmau5. So this is another story from a Mean Stars profile. So this post is a bit on the longer side, so I'm gonna kind of summarize it. Basically, this person is a producer and he wanted to give a demo to Deadmau5. So he went to a show in his city, and after Deadmau5 was done performing, people formed a line for him to sign things. Then when it came down to this person's turn, he said, quote, "I don't have anything for you to sign, but I would like to say that you are an inspiration to me. So I'd like to share with you some of the music that I produced, which has been inspired by your production." And the person handed him the CD, and Deadmau5 looked super confused before he replied, quote, "This is a signing, not a demo showcase. Either I sign this or you mail it to me," the person stated. The person then stated, "I was taken aback by his rudeness and just shyly responded, 'I'd rather you keep it.'" He turned back to his tag-along friends and said, "Can you believe this guy?" while chuckling. His friends kind of awkwardly laughed along with him while giving me this awkward look as if to say, "I'm so sorry. I was so upset that I nearly punched the dude right there. I just walked away instead. I was so upset I felt ill." Then the person continued that he knows that getting handed demos must be kind of annoying, but he's given out a bunch of demos to people way more famous than deadmau5 and was always treated with respect. So yeah, this is really rude to me. Like, even if deadmau5 didn't end up doing anything with the CD, he could have still just taken it. Like, it would have been less effort than getting into this random argument in the middle of the signing, in my opinion. And at number 7, Jennifer Lawrence. So Jennifer Lawrence is another person that is well known for being rude to fans when seen out in public. And I'm absolutely confident that this one is true because she literally admitted it herself in an interview. In a video interview she did with Adam Sandler for Variety, she admitted that, quote, "Once I enter a public place, I become incredibly rude. I turn into a huge a-hole," she added, adding that it's her way of defending herself. She continued, quote, "They say, 'Can I have a selfie?' And I'm like, 'No,'" Jen said. And this is not the first time she's admitted to being very defensive when she runs into fans. In an interview with the Daily Telegraph, Jennifer echoed similar sentiments of fans feeling too close to her because she's a public person. She said, quote, "I think that people think that we are already friends because I'm famous and they feel like they already know me, but I don't know them." She said, "I have to protect my bubble. Like, I have a weird job. I don't let this be reality." And I can definitely like see where she's coming from here, as fans can definitely get really dangerous and there can be really scary encounters sometimes. For instance, if someone were to post a selfie of her, then everyone in the world potentially could know exactly where she is at that exact time. But I think there's still a way to be kind about the situation instead of being just an a-hole to people that literally just appreciate you, like just your fans. Next up at number 6, Cameron Diaz. So this one's on the shorter side, but apparently Cameron Diaz is well known for not giving autographs and being really rude to anyone that asks for one. One person commented on an interaction that they had with Diaz, saying, quote, "Cameron Diaz may be a talented actress, but she's persistently a terrible signer. Instead of just turning down a person's autograph request, she'll lecture them about how dumb autographs are." And this was all, of course, back in the day before selfies and pictures were the things that were asked of by celebrities. But wow, I can only imagine how much worse she would be now if someone asked for a picture instead of an autograph. Yikes, I would not want to be that person. Halfway through number 5, Justin Bieber. So since Justin has come out many times that he struggled with addiction and he's in a completely different place now, I'm gonna consider this story about Justin being rude to fans kind of like past Justin, as I don't think he would do this sort of stuff today. But either way, the tea is piping hot here, so I still thought I'd include it with that little disclaimer added. So Justin a few years back got into a few scandals where it seemed like he was being disrespectful to his fans. One time was when allegedly a fan tried to get a selfie with Justin and he replied something about how her lack of respect for him made him sick. And then there was another time where he was accused of spitting on a group of fans that were gathered below his hotel balcony in 2013. But after he got a lot of backlash for doing this, one of his reps had to come out saying that people were not directly below him and he didn't actually spit on anyone. But the fact that he would even do a gesture like that to his fans below is kind of shady to me. And at number 4, Chevy Chase. So Chevy is another person who has a few stories that have given him a bad rep. And he actually has a pretty famous history among people in the industry of being difficult to work with. There are countless accounts of him being disrespectful to coworkers. So based off that, you can probably imagine he's not the nicest to fans either. Actor and comedian Rob Huebel is someone that shared their really terrifying encounter with Chase. Huebel said that he was a huge fan of Chase's and he went backstage to meet him at an Upright Citizens Brigade show. While he was telling Chase what a huge fan he was of his, allegedly Chase responded to this love by slapping the man so hard in the face that he saw red. What? And then after, Chevy tried to make a joke of it by saying, quote, "Can't you see I'm talking to someone, kid?" And I do want to say, in life, I really do like to believe there's always two sides to every story before I make a judgment on someone, but wow, this is probably the worst one I've ever heard, and I really don't know how you could even explain away why you slapped a fan. Like, this is probably the worst one on here. Then in at number 3, Christina Aguilera. So Christina is another person who has a bad rep among other celebrities. While Valerie Bertinelli was on Andy Cohen's Late Show, he asked her to spill the tea on why she did not like Christina Aguilera. Bertinelli clarified that she and Aguilera didn't have an all-out feud, but Aguilera did snub her at one of her ex-husband Eddie Van Halen's concerts. Bertinelli described the situation by saying, quote, "I was a fan at that time, and I went up to her because she was at a Van Halen concert. And I said, 'Oh my god, I think you're a beautiful singer.' And she just went like, 'Yeah, whatever.' She gave me the cold shoulder and I thought, bitch, I'm a fan. You couldn't just be nice to me." So yeah, clearly not a really friendly encounter. After Cohen asked Bertinelli if she's seen Aguilera since, she replied saying, quote, "I have not, no. But you know what? She might have gotten better, but I heard she hasn't." And I just love how she finished it off with that final burn, like, oh my god, what a legend. Then in at number 2, Hugh Grant. So I included Hugh Grant on this list because he's yet another celebrity that has had some unsavory encounters with other celebrities, including Jon Stewart, who had banned Hugh Grant from his show, The Daily Show. Stewart admitted to this in a Q&A he did with Stephen Colbert. Well, he revealed that his show had some very controversial guests. Grant was the rudest person on the show. He said, quote, Grant was giving everyone shit the whole time, and he's a big pain in the ass. Stewart continued that while promoting his new film at the time, Did You Hear About the Morgans?, Grant openly griped about the clip chosen to run on the show. He said, quote, what is that clip? It's a terrible clip. Grant angrily asked, to which the host shot back, quote, well then make a better effing movie. Which is just so savage. Like, this is why I love him. But after this came out, Grant actually was pretty understanding about the whole situation and joked on Twitter that Stewart was correct to give him a kicking. So after that, I would hope that the incident was just sort of a one-off for Hugh Grant, and it seems that he's most likely changed since he's able to joke about it now, which is really good to see. And then up at number 1, Jennifer Lopez. So taking the top spot, we have J-Lo. And before doing this video, I had no idea that she had such a mean streak, but I literally found like a 20-page article online with all of the mean stuff that she has publicly done. So I can only imagine all the mean stuff she has done behind the scenes to people. One of the biggest things that have caused people to think she's mean in real life is the fact that she constantly talks shit about other actresses publicly. Among the names she has publicly dissed are huge stars like Gwyneth Paltrow, Winona Ryder, and Cameron Diaz. When speaking about these women, the common theme was that she did not think they are good actresses, and she didn't feel they deserved their success. Another strike on JLo's record is that she apparently does not talk to service people. Instead, she makes her assistants talk to them for her. This came out when a United Airlines attendant said he offered her a drink on flight, but JLo refused to answer and told her personal assistant to say to the flight attendant, please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime, instead of literally just telling him herself. Diva much? And the last thing that's probably not true, but I just found really funny, was that A-Rod, her now fiance, is allegedly terrified of J-Lo. She allegedly gave him a list of rules that he has to follow to be with her, and that he's been given an exact position of where to stand when they are on red carpets together, which is just hilarious. I doubt that one's true, but I just thought of course I had to include it.
And at number 10, Hailey Bieber. Hailey Bieber was called out by a TikTok influencer, Julia Carolan, when Julia made a video series exposing celebrities that were rude to her while she was working as a hostess at a popular Manhattan restaurant. In the video, she commented on Kylie Jenner and the Hadid sisters, and when it came to Hailey Bieber, she rated her interactions with Hailey to be a 3.5 out of 10. Saying in the TikTok quote, this is gonna be controversial. I've met her a handful of times and she was not nice. I really wanna like her, but I give her like a 3.5 out of 10. Sorry. But most shockingly, Hailey actually responded in the comments of that TikTok, apologizing for the situation. Responding in the comments saying she's quote, so sorry if she's ever given her bad vibes or a bad attitude. So it's hard to say if this was just a bad interaction or pattern of behavior, but it's great to see that Hailey apologized. And at number 9, Dobre Brothers. Last year, a video went viral of the Dobre Brothers meeting a fan at a meet and greet, and the video is honestly heartbreaking. The girl walks over to the group for her picture and none of the people in the group even say one word to her. One of the brothers just lifts up his arm to put it around her for the picture, and the people in the group barely take the effort to even muster up a smile for this girl, who probably paid a lot of money to meet them. After the clip generated tons of outrage online, Lucas Dobre apologized, writing quote, we just want to apologize. After a long 48 hours of restless filming and touring, then meeting thousands of fans with no sleep, we were exhausted by the end of our show. Our true apologies. We are sincerely sorry. But honestly, if you can't even crack a smile for people who paid to see you, you literally don't deserve fans. Like, I'm sorry, that's how I feel about that. And at number 8, D'Amelio sisters. The D'Amelio sisters were called out for being mean after they released a vlog-style video where it looked like they were being rude to their personal chef. The video was a dinner with their family and a special guest who was revealed to be James Charles. The sisters were called out big time when their personal chef, Chef Aaron May, started serving their dinner. When the paella was served, Dixie picked something up and made disgusting faces as she tried to figure out what it was. We learned later that it was a snail. And instead of just, putting it down like an adult should do, she proceeded to make gagging noises. Then she actually ended up puking right at the table like it was nothing. After all that happened, Charlie then asked her mom for dino nuggets because from her facial expressions, it looked like she was not enjoying the dinner at all. And then on top of it all, the sisters were incredibly cringy and awkward in their own YouTube video. And the entire video is just mostly James and the parents talking. And at number 7, James Charles. After James Charles called out the Dobre Brothers for how horribly they treated their fans, some former fans called out James for his bad behavior towards them. A now deleted TikTok tells the story. Apparently the fans were at the airport when they saw James, and when they tried to go over and talk to him, James's manager told them that he was too busy to talk. According to the fan, James didn't even look up from his laptop to acknowledge them. The fan said, quote, he didn't even have the decency to literally look up at us and at least say hi or I'm sorry I'm busy. But James told his side of the story to Keemstar, saying that he didn't know the fans wanted a photo because they never actually asked for one. They were mainly just taking pictures of James from afar, with James adding that he sad a fan had a bad interaction with him. And at number 6, Summer McKean. Summer McKean was called out when leaked videos surfaced from her Finsta page showing mean behavior. Several of these videos included her laughing and making fun of fan-edited videos. There were also videos leaked that showed her using racist language. The whole thing is really worse when you consider that these fans took the time out of their own days to make these edits of them, and then they were being mocked. There was also another video of Summer and Hannah Maloche making fun of a fellow influencer who had gone on a brand trip with them in the past. All in all, the videos that leaked were polar opposite of who fans thought that Summer was, and it was hard for a lot of people to see her the same way after. Halfway at number 5, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star was called mean and a bully after he called out a fan on his Twitter. It all started when Jeffree congratulated someone on getting a job at Ulta Beauty, with the fan saying that she was starting the day Jeffree's collab with Morphe was coming out. And it's a very common thing in the makeup community for fellow artists to promote themselves under huge gurus' tweets. So one fan took this opportunity and replied to the tweet with a picture of a makeup look that they were really proud of. But Jeffree did not like this and decided to publicly call out the fan for, quote, making this about themselves. In the slew of tweets, Jeffree called out the fan for their frequent promos on his posts and told the fan to stop making things about themselves. The fan replied on their own Twitter, devastated by the interaction, and said that they had spent hundreds of their hard-earned dollars supporting Jeffree. And honestly, I don't think there's ever a reason to call out a fan publicly like that. In at number 4, Gabby Hanna. Gabby Hanna was called out when she privately DM'd someone on Twitter who accused her of doing something horrible to her former friend Jessie Smiles. When the fan's tweet that was critical of Gabby started going viral, Gabby decided to DM that person on Twitter and gaslight the fan into changing their views on Gabby. Many said that the behavior was toxic and manipulative. They also called her out for using her power dynamic here to silence the fan and get them to delete the tweet that was calling out Gabby. Gabby later apologized, but many stated that this was not the first time that she tried to gaslight people into taking her side of things. And at number 3, Willy Wonka TikTok. Massive TikToker Willy Wonka TikTok, real name Duke Depp, was called out last year after he called a super fan annoying. The fan named Autumn Salazar dedicated her account to being the counterpart to Duke's account, calling herself Miss Wonka. But she decided to call him out publicly after she discovered that he called her annoying in private messages, with him adding, quote, I don't want to give her any attention. She begs for me to notice and follow her every single day. Apparently, he also reported her account to TikTok and forced her to change her username because Duke wanted to be the only Willy Wonka related account. Autumn responded to all of this saying, quote, this is so rude that you report your #1 fan that has been here since day one. After the scandal, Duke's account was flooded with hate, but he claims Autumn was lying. But honestly, it's hard to refute screenshots like that. In at number 2, Lele Pons. Lele Pons, formerly the world's #1 Viner, got in a massive scandal when it came out that she tried to take down one of her best friends because Lele saw this friend as competition. This friend was Amanda Cerny, and Amanda exposed Lele when she realized Lele was trying to destroy her career. Apparently, Lele knew the code to Amanda's phone for months and would use it to delete Amanda's most popular Instagram pictures and videos. Lele also deleted Amanda's first YouTube video twice. Pons then used her massive platform to accuse Amanda of deleting her content, and that was the reason why they weren't friends anymore, when it was actually the complete opposite situation. And this clearly proves that Lele will do anything to stay on top. And lastly, at number 1, Jake Paul. Unsurprisingly, the top of this list is Jake Paul. Jake Paul is known as the internet's wild child, which he has now made his official brand, calling himself the, quote, problem child. When he started Team 10, he moved his teenage friends into a huge house in Los Angeles, but he caused so many problems for neighbors that they all band together to get him kicked out of that house. Jake has also been called out for being toxic and manipulative by past girlfriends like Alyssa Violet and Tana Mojo. Both women felt that they had been played by Jake in the relationship, and while these women were with Jake because they actually loved him, Jake was only with the women for views and clout.
Chrissy Teigen has returned to social media to apologize for her past hateful tweets that she sent to Courtney Stodden. The former model is claiming that she was simply a troll and that now she is dealing with a crushing weight of regret. I'm gonna get into all those details in just a moment, but first, if you could do us a big favor, please tap that like button, we'd really appreciate it. And with that out of the way, let's begin. As I mentioned, Chrissy Teigen has broken her silence recently after being accused of bullying a then teenager on Twitter back in 2011. In a post on the blog site Medium, Chrissy left a lengthy apology that began with, "Hi all, it has been a very humbling few weeks. I know I've been quiet and Lord knows you don't want to hear about me, but I want want you to know I've been sitting in a hole of deserved global punishment, the ultimate sit here and think about what you've done. Not a day, not a single moment has passed where I haven't felt the crushing weight of regret for the things I've said in the past. She then goes on to say, as you know, a bunch of my old awful tweets resurfaced. I'm truly ashamed of them. As I look at them and understand the hurt they caused, I have to stop and wonder, how could I have done that? For those of you who don't know, back in May, media personality Courtney Stodden, who uses they, them pronouns, called out Tegan for bullying them on Twitter. While speaking with the Daily Beast, Courtney told the news outlet she wouldn't just publicly tweet about wanting me to take a dirt nap, but would privately DM me and tell me to kill myself. Things like, I can't wait for you to die. Courtney, who is now 26 years old, first hit the media spotlight after marrying 50-year-old actor Doug Hutchinson when they were just 16 years old. However, I must also add that the couple recently divorced in 2020. And again, according to Chrissy herself, it's not just Courtney that she owes an apology to. She then goes on to say in her apology letter, I've apologized publicly to one person, but there are others and more than just a few who I need to say I'm sorry to. I'm in the process of privately reaching out to the people I insulted. It's like my own version of that show, My Name is Earl. I understand that they may not want to speak to me. I don't think I'd like to speak to me. The real truth in all of this is how much I actually cannot take confrontation, but if they do, I am here and I will listen to what they have to say while apologizing through sobs. Adding, there's simply no excuse for my past horrible tweets. My targets didn't deserve them, no one does. Many of them needed empathy, kindness, understanding, and support, not my meanness masquerading as a kind of casual, edgy humor. I was a troll, full stop, and I am so sorry. Little weird that she refers to her victims as targets, but okay, to each their own, I guess. Chrissy Teigen's Twitter popularity really began to grow over the last 4 years because she was so outspoken about former US President Donald Trump. However, in March, she decided to briefly delete her Twitter account after saying that it no longer serves a positive purpose in her life. Although just a month later, she was back on the platform and back to sending out her usual tweets. Upon returning, she tweeted, turns out it feels terrible to silence yourself and also no longer enjoy belly chuckles randomly throughout the day and also lose like 2,000 friends at once. Adding, I choose to take the bad with the good. In her apology, Chrissy also noted that when she started using social media, she had a lot of fun with it and that she believed she could simply use it to tell jokes, make random observations, and snark at the occasional celebrity. However, when you're not happy with yourself, it becomes much more difficult to navigate the murky waters of social media. Chrissy Teigen then goes on to say, in reality, I was insecure, immature, and in a whole world where I thought I needed to impress strangers to be accepted. If there was a pop culture pile-on, I took to Twitter to try to gain attention and show off what I at the time believed was a crude, clever, harmless quip. I thought it made me cool and relatable if I poked fun at celebrities. Chrissy then goes on to say that now, since being confronted with some of the things that she has said, she cringes to her core. She now realizes that words have consequences and that there are real people behind the Twitter handles that she went after. She admits that she wasn't just attacking some random avatar, but rather hurting young women. She then closes off her letter by saying, I won't ask for your forgiveness, only your patience and tolerance. I ask that you allow me, as I promised to allow you, to own past mistakes and be given the opportunity to seek self-improvement and change. And for those of you who want to read the full apology letter, I will be sure to put a link for you down in the description below. Now, on the flip side of all of this, Courtney Stodden posted an image on Instagram alleging that Chrissy Teigen had blocked them. They captioned the photo with, I accept her apology and forgive her, but the truth remains the same. I have never heard from her or her camp in private. In fact, she blocked me on Twitter. All of me wants to believe this is a sincere apology, but it feels like a public attempt to save her partnerships with Target and other brands who are realizing her wokeness is a broken record. You see, just when you start feeling like someone has made amends, there can always be an ulterior motive. That being said, Chrissy did say in her letter, I'm telling you this for context, not seeking or deserving any sympathy. There's no justification for my behavior. I'm not a victim here. The subjects of your sympathy and mine should be those I put down. Adding, the truth is, I'm no longer the person who wrote those horrible things. I grew up, got therapy, got married, had kids, got more therapy, experienced loss and pain, got more therapy and experienced more life, and got more therapy.
Number 10, ignoring Hailey. The model was posing in front of the cameras at the Vanity Fair party, but this year she was noticeably alone as Justin decided not to pose with her. While Hailey was walking the red carpet by herself, he was nowhere to be found. Instead, he was photographed inside the party looking a little disheveled but very comfortable. Justin was wearing a backwards baseball cap with a colorful blanket draped over his shoulders. It's possible that he couldn't be bothered with all the red carpet attire and wanted to go straight to the party. After all, he was wearing a literal blanket. But in the middle of her drama with Selena Gomez, that was probably not the best idea. idea. It seemed like he was trying to distance himself from his wife and everything that she was going through at the time. Later on, he did post a photo of the two of them from inside the party on his Instagram, but he's never really shown any public support in the weeks that the feud went on. This was concerning to a lot of fans who supported Hailey because it seemed like not even her husband was coming to her defense. The fact that Justin simply didn't want to get involved said a lot about their relationship. Number 9. Slamming the door. In 2020, Justin got a ton of flack from fans in a paparazzi video that went viral. Despite claims that he is a gentleman, his behavior around his wife has been far from chivalrous, and that only refers to what's actually been caught on camera. In a shocking clip, you can see the singer pulled up in a black chauffeured SUV. As he got out of the car, he looks visually annoyed as if he just had some kind of meltdown inside the car. Without looking back, he carelessly slammed the door in Hailey's face. She tragically followed him without any real pushback and even tried to point him in the right direction when she finally caught up to him. The only thing she said was, "Babe, I think this is the right way." Of course, a lot of people were sickened with the whole video because it really looked like a textbook toxic relationship. Seeing Hailey be automatically apologetic after Justin clearly embarrassed her in front of everyone was triggering for a lot of people. In the comments, one person wrote, "She needs to wake up. If a man treats you like that, he doesn't love you." Another person wrote, "If I was Hailey, I would get a divorce and move out of the country." So it seems like most people were encouraging her to break up with him. Number 8. Dissing their marriage. In the midst of the drama, fans have continually brought up an interview of Justin talking about the downsides of his relationship. Apparently he struggled after realizing that his marriage to Hailey wouldn't instantly make him a better person. He said, "It is a journey. I remember when I first got married, I hit a little bit of an emotional breakdown because I thought marriage was going to fix all of my problems, and it didn't." He went on to say that he felt like a hypocrite because he wanted Hailey to do something that he wasn't doing for himself. Although Justin was obviously speaking from the heart here, many fans were mocking the video, saying that he only feels that way because he's with the wrong person. Shortly after they tied the knot, Hailey and Justin did an interview with Vogue where they talked about going to a marriage counselor. Hailey said, "The thing is, marriage is very hard. That is a sentence you should lead with. It's really effing hard," which is something that they both could agree on. Now that doesn't mean that they're immediately going to divorce, but some would say that it's not a great sign of the future of their relationship. Number 7. Running away from Hailey. In September of 2021, there was a shocking video posted on Twitter that showed Justin literally running away from paparazzi and leaving Hailey behind while she falls to the ground. In the clip, you can see him get out of the car with his skateboard and just take off without saying anything. At first it looks like he's alone and just doing his own thing, but 1 second later and Hailey literally falls out and looks flustered. She seems to be confused at the fact that she got left behind, and to make things so much worse, this all happened on a busy street and so many people watched it happen. She then sprints after him and obviously tries to catch up, but Justin is already out of sight. The whole thing must have been incredibly embarrassing for her, and that's exactly what the comments said. One person wrote, "I know this keeps her awake every night and that's why you shouldn't chase men." However, fans were also a little more sympathetic to her situation, considering that a lot of people could relate to having a partner that just doesn't really care about them. One person said, "As much as we may not like her, no female deserves to be treated like this by their husband. She deserves better regardless." Number 6. Allegations of cheating. We all know Justin got together with Hailey very quickly after he ended things with Selena Gomez in June of 2018. So ever since then, cheating rumors have followed the couple. For her part, Hailey has adamantly denied this was the case and said that Selena and Justin weren't as serious as everyone thought they were when they got back together briefly in 2018. She said, "As a woman, I would never want to get into a relationship with someone and be engaged to them and be getting married to them and be thinking in the back of my mind, I wonder if that door was really closed. I know for a fact that the reason we were able to get back together was because it was very much completely closed." But for her part, Selena commented on a TikTok in a way that suggested that was not the whole truth. One of her fans posted a video saying, "Does anyone just ever feel really bad for Selena Gomez? Like, can you imagine going through a breakup so publicly with a guy that you were in love with for like 7 years and then like 2 months later he just marries someone?" In response, Selena wrote in the comments, "That made me cry. Thank you." So even though Hailey swears that there was no overlap whatsoever, the timeline has always been a little bit sketchy. Number 5. The Facebook Live. A video has recently resurfaced online of Hailey and Bieber on Facebook Live in May of 2020. In the clip, Hailey admitted to the constant comparisons that she gets to Selena Gomez, and she says that gets really overwhelming. Quote, "The ways that I feel like people have made comparisons and just put me in a position where they've really made me feel like less of a woman. It's not easy." And all this time, while Hailey's pouring her heart out on camera, Justin is not really being supportive. While she's talking, he keeps a poker face and just gazes blankly off the camera. Now that people are rewatching the video almost 3 years later, they're pretty shocked by his lack of response. In fact, his facial expressions are so vacant that some people even joke that he looked like a cardboard cutout or a green screen projection. Fans felt that his body language was a major red flag for their relationship. Someone in the comments suggested that he was being hypnotized just to sit there. Most people could agree that he genuinely looked like he would rather be anywhere else. So was this clip an indicator that their relationship is not that great behind the scenes? Or do you think everyone's just reading into this a little too much? Number 4, screaming at Hailey. In July of 2021, the couple were in Las Vegas to celebrate Kendall Jenner's new tequila brand 818. As the night ended, a TikTok user by the name of Yanjeric23 posted a video of Justin and Hailey leaving the club with fans and bodyguards around them. In the video, they could be seen holding hands, but as they were walking down the halls of the hotel, Justin very clearly looked like he was yelling at her. That clip went viral on TikTok with more than 1.2 million views, and it drew concern from fans everywhere. From that point on, the comment section was filled with theories about why he was screaming at her, and so many people put it down to a sign of a toxic relationship. After all, who yells at their partner like that? Before it was deleted, fans seemed to turn on Justin for the way that he was treating Hailey, although some came to his defense and claimed that he wasn't yelling at her out of anger, but maybe it was out of excitement. Sadly though, that was far from the only video that came out about them showing him losing control of his temper. Number 3, Justin saying "don't touch me." Obviously, every relationship is different and every couple has different boundaries, but fans were still pretty shocked to see a video of Hailey making Justin physically uncomfortable. In the video, they're doing a live stream of some kind and he's sitting down casually while she's standing behind him with her arms crossed. He then tries to be affectionate and put her arms around him, which she instantly physically reacts to. Justin becomes annoyed and says, "Babe, I can't. Don't touch me right now." At first, Hailey seems confused and she can't really tell if he's being all that serious. She then keeps her arms there, but then he says, "Just in general, that just happens sometimes. I just need some space." So he was trying to be nice about it and communicate with her honestly, and in terms of body language, you can tell that he wasn't loving the way that he was being touched. A lot of people called Hailey out for disrespecting his boundaries and making him feel stressed. But of course, there were also those fans who felt that this was a sign that he just doesn't like her anymore, because he keeps getting annoyed with every little thing that she does. Number 2, argument on live. In a Facebook Live, Justin and Hailey can be seen sitting on a couch answering questions about his Lyme disease diagnosis. At one point, they get asked whether or not he's scared about the diagnosis, and even though the question was clearly directed at Justin, for some reason Hailey decides to answer instead. Midway through her response, he then cuts her off and says, "No, she was asking me." What follows is a long, awkward silence, which eventually breaks into a laugh. He then says, "They're asking me because it's my Lyme disease, it's not your Lyme disease." In response, Hailey says that she's the one who's been going to all his doctor's appointments with him, but then Justin cuts her off one more time and says, "Listen here, woman," and that is obviously one of the worst things he could have said to her. After that, they decided to end the live stream, but not before Hailey made a sarcastic comment about his attitude. At this point, it's pretty obvious that there was a lot of tension between them, which might have been exacerbated by Justin's health condition, because at the time he also had a serious case of mono, which he says was affecting his skin, his brain function, and also his energy. And coming in at number 1, how they met. In 2020, Justin sat down with Demi Lovato on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and he talked about how he met his wife. He said, "I think because she was raised Christian and they found out that, I think it was an arranged marriage. I'm pretty sure looking back now, it was definitely an arranged marriage. They set this whole thing up." He explains that since Hailey was raised Christian, her dad Stephen Baldwin decided to introduce them because he thought that they would have similar values and believe the same thing. He says, "It was definitely an arranged marriage now that I'm thinking about it." Even though Demi kind of laughed off the idea, Justin just kept on repeating how he thought it was arranged. Of course, he was joking, but at the same time, fans took this interview as proof that he was being serious. In fact, there's now been a ton of videos posted where people try to use this to explain how their marriage was a setup and Justin was somehow tricked. Their first meeting was all the way back in 2009 and it was actually captured on camera. So judging from that footage, we'd get a better idea of whether or not it looked like a setup.
Coming in at number 10, we have Hailey Bieber. If you've been on the internet lately, you've probably seen the drama surrounding Hailey bashing Selena on social media. It seemed to have started when fans assumed that a TikTok posted by Hailey was about Selena. The TikTok, which has now been deleted, features Hailey and her friends lip syncing to a sound which says, "I'm not saying she deserved it, but God's timing is always right." Fans started to assume that this was in reference to Selena being body shamed over her vacation photos. After being questioned all over the internet, Hailey responds by saying, "I never comment on this type of thing, but we were just having a girls' night, and we just did a random TikTok sound for fun. It's not directed at anyone." Even Selena joins in to calm her fans by saying, "It's okay, I don't let these things get me down. Be nice to everybody. Even if that time was just a reach and a speculation, the more recent Hailey drama is hard to dismiss. After Selena posted a clip mentioning how she had over-laminated her eyebrows, Kylie Jenner posted a photo of herself saying this was an accident over her own eyebrows. It only gets worse when Kylie shares a screenshot from a FaceTime with Hailey only showing their eyebrows. Later in the day, fans realized Selena commented on an old photo of Hailey where she seems to be gagging at the mention of Taylor Swift's name. Selena wrote, "So sorry, my best friend continues to be one of the best in the game." With all the hatred coming from Hailey over the internet, it seems to have been enough to push Selena off social media for a while. The singer announced on TikTok saying, "I'm gonna be taking a second from social media because this is all a little silly. I'm 30, I'm too old for this." Hailey Bieber has really been showing her true colors lately and has yet to comment on any of the alleged bullying. But to her fans, her silence is definitely a statement in itself. Coming in at number 9, Lea Michele. The former Glee star Lea has sparked rumors for years of being an alleged mean girl. She began getting some heat over the past couple of years for being mean-spirited on the set of Glee, what she did later apologize for, but it didn't seem to end there. Her former co-star Heather Morris started speaking up back in 2021 as to why it took so long to come forward with these allegations. She says, "We absolutely could have stepped up and gone to Fox executives and said how we felt about the situation, but nobody really did. So now we're living in a culture where it's more accepted to go and do things like that, whereas I think people were just a little scared." These allegations against Lea first started to come out in 2020 when Samantha Ware, who also played a role in Glee, spoke out against her on Twitter. She expresses how awful Lea made her time on the Glee set, even saying that her microaggressions made her question her whole career in Hollywood. When the tweet went viral, Lea's partnership with the food service HelloFresh decided to end their contract. This tweet ended up inspiring other Glee stars to come forward with their feelings about Lea. Heather wrote on Twitter saying, "Hate is a disease in America that we are trying to cure, but I would never wish for that hate to spread to someone else." With that being said, was she unpleasant to work with? Very much so. For Lea to treat others with disrespect that she did for so long, I believe she should be called out. An extra for the show took this opportunity to come forward as well, saying that Lea referred to her and other extras as cockroaches. She even went as far to tell them not to look at her while the cameras were rolling. Lea has never denied the allegations, but instead wrote an apology on Instagram saying, "While I don't remember ever making this specific statement, that's really not the point. What matters is that I clearly acted in ways which hurt other people. Though I'm sure her fellow co-stars would like a little bit more of an apology, at least it's something." And at number 8, we have Madonna. Known for being an absolute icon in the pop industry, as well as not believing in cancel culture, her dry sense of humor may have gotten her into trouble in the past. Back in 2019, Madonna made an appearance on the Graham Norton show, and there was definitely a few awkward moments. Fans began to criticize the singer for the way she spoke to Sir Ian McKellen, and for the fact that she seemed to forget that they'd already met before. Ian ended up joking that this is why Madonna wasn't invited to his birthday party. Then, near the end, it seems she mocks his title of Sir. Another uncomfortable moment is when Madonna asks, "What do you do?" appearing to not know he's an actor, when she was just asking what he does in his new stage show. Fans did not react well, taking to Twitter to discuss how they felt the interview went. One Twitter user wrote, "The rudeness of Madonna to Sir Ian McKellen is making me so mad." And another wrote, "This show is so cringe. The way Madonna is talking to and looking at Sir Ian McKellen is a disgrace. She's even noticeably sitting away from him. Horrible woman." All in all, I have to say the whole segment is very awkward to watch. Number 7, Ellen DeGeneres. From celebrities, her own staff, and even to guests on her show, Ellen has received a lot of backlash over the past couple of years, with even a Twitter trend calling her one of the meanest people alive. The stories really started to pop off after the comedian Kevin Porter posted on his Twitter saying, "Right now, all we need is a little kindness. You know, like Ellen DeGeneres always talks about. Respond to this with the most insane stories you've heard about Ellen being mean, and I'll match everyone with $2 to the LA Food Bank." This really brought some horrible stories to light, even with some having photographic evidence. One Twitter user wrote, "When I was 15, Ellen was doing a contest of fans making a bust of her and sending it in. I worked so hard on this and even gave her a letter. Weeks later, she used this as a prop in her game and gave it away to a random person with $500 at the bottom." A former staff member even came forward explaining how Ellen told them all how she has a sensitive nose, making everyone chew a piece of gum before ever talking to her, even sending those home she thought smelled bad. With her bad attitude really coming to light, YouTuber Nikki from Nikki Tutorials shared what she experienced was like when coming onto the Ellen show. Without going into too much detail, she said, "Let's just say there's a huge difference between this show and Ellen DeGeneres. I'm saying that in favor of the show." Dakota Johnson, Mark Ruffalo, Jamila Jamil, and many others have since shared their stories, and I have to say, it doesn't look good for Ellen, who is known to preach kindness. Number 6. Katherine Heigl. After being labeled difficult to work with, her career took a bit of a dip. Katherine originally made a big name for herself for her role on the show Grey's Anatomy, but after involving herself in some sticky situations with the network, it seems like she may have just angered the wrong people. Apparently having some strong views on her scripts, the writers weren't happy, calling this an ungrateful slap in the face, as they felt that they were the ones to get her that far in the first place. Grey's Anatomy creator slammed Katherine for her unkind comments, telling in an interview, "In some level it stung, and on some level I was not surprised. When people show you who they are, believe them." Her history of dissing scripts and ideas didn't end there though. Katherine ended up talking to Vanity Fair in 2008 about her movie Knocked Up. She went on to describe it as sexist and bashing on the way the women were presented in the film. When the news came out about how she really felt about her role, her co-star Seth Rogen was disappointed. He told The Hollywood Reporter, "People seemed to like it. We were funny together, I was having a really good time. And then I heard afterward that she didn't like it. I think when that happens, your trust feels somewhat betrayed." After this, more reports seemed to come out of Katherine being a bit of a diva. A source came forward describing how it would be commonplace for her to cost you time every day. From wardrobe issues to questioning the scripts, it sounds like Katherine might just have to have a problem every day. Number 5. Christina Aguilera. Though an incredible singer and with a huge fan base, Christina maybe isn't as nice behind the scenes. With many fans who adore the coach on the show The Voice, there seem to be plenty that just can't stand her. The boy band The Wanted claimed that Christina was very cold to them after they performed on the competition show. One band member told The Hollywood Reporter how scary he thought she was, saying, "She just sat there and didn't speak to us. She was quite rude." After a source came forward saying that nothing negative happened between the boys and Christina, the band ended up apologizing, sort of. They said, "We shouldn't have said it, to be honest with you. We just think manners cost nothing, you know what I mean?" Apparently being rude isn't the only thing she has been reported being, but also aggressive. After collaborating on Lady Marmalade for the Moulin Rouge soundtrack, singer Pink claims that there was a bit of a fight over who would sing the high notes on the track. Pink recalls that this led to Christina trying to punch her in the club. Pink said when talking about the event, "I was like, what is happening right now? What are you doing? What is even happening?" When asked about this, Christina says, "I seem to have a different memory of that night. We were at the club when we played Spin the Bottle, and I have a love memory. Luckily since then, the two seem to have made amends." Number 4. Katy Perry. The pop star who is said to love her fans deeply may have a different relationship with her fellow celebrities. Katy Perry bashed Britney Spears twice for her head-shaving mental breakdown, and fans weren't loving it. In an interview, Katy discusses her new hair and says, "It's the last color in the spectrum that I can do. I've done all of them and the only thing left to do is shave my head, which I'm really saving for my public breakdown." In another interview, when asked about how she is going to be taking a break from music, she says, "That's called taking care of your mental health. It's great. I haven't shaved my head yet." Her attempt at a joke resulted in Katy looking like a mean girl, especially to someone who she even once collabed with in the past. This sparked such backlash that angry fans created the hashtag Katy Perry is over party, which quickly trended on Twitter. One Twitter user wrote, "I lost all my respect for Katy." Well, the little respect I did have for her. Though it appears she has yet to comment, many fear Katy has shown her true, insensitive colors. Number 3. Ariana Grande. According to various news outlets, Ariana Grande can definitely be a diva sometimes, and even to her fans. But on July 4th, 2015, the singer really did something that made her fans wonder if she really just is a mean girl after all. Ariana stated, "I hate Americans. I hate America," while in a donut shop in California. She then went on to lick the donuts without buying any of them. Despite public apologies for this extreme behavior, she was still shut out from performing at the White House event. The singer allegedly completely up and left her meet and greet because she wasn't loving how the photos were coming out. A source revealed that when the star went into the elevator, she overheard her wishing her fans at the event would pass away. Pretty bad if true, so I'm just going to hope it's not. And at number 2, we have Adam Levine. Adam Levine hasn't always been the family man we see these days. He also, for a time, wasn't so loved by his fans. A user on social media asked the question, "Who are the biggest jerks in music?" To which one user wrote back saying Adam Levine, claiming the singer has made rude comments about fans and even his current girlfriend at the time. Allegedly, Adam told a fan that he didn't give autographs to ugly chicks. Though this can't be confirmed, many other commenters agreed that it sounds like something he would say. This comes after an interview where Adam claimed that dating a model was one of the perks of being a rock star. The heat on Adam has died down. Since becoming all about his kids, many fans believed he has finally grown up with his ways. And at number 1, we have Tobey Maguire. The Superman star Tobey Maguire has become famous in a different way, and that's how rude he is to his fans. Reportedly, the actor refuses to sign anything for anyone, even children who idolize the Spider-Man star. The Spider-Man star Tobey Maguire has become famous in a different way, and that's how rude he is to his fans. Reportedly, the actor refuses to sign anything for anyone, even children who idolize the Spider-Man legend. Back in 2007, the star allegedly slapped a camera out of a fan's hand who was asking for a photo. Because of his bad rep with signatures, the Autograph Collector magazine has named him the worst signer of the year. I mean, after knowing how much he hates signatures, I think that if I saw Tobey on the street, I would just steer clear.
Number 10. Rude to a restaurant hostess. Being a waitress at a fancy restaurant will sometimes give you the chance to meet celebrities when you're working. TikTok user Julia Carolan was working at a fancy restaurant in Manhattan, and she documented her bad experience with Hailey Bieber. In a video, she said, "This is going to be controversial, but I've met her a handful of times, and each time she was not nice. I really wanted to like her, but I have to give her a 3.5 out of 10. Sorry." When the video went viral, Hailey eventually saw it and quickly took to the comment section of the video, and she tried to apologize for how she acted. She said, "Just came across this video, and I'm so sorry if I've ever given you bad vibes or a bad attitude. That was never my intention." She also added that she would like to apologize to Julia in person and thanked her for calling her out. Thankfully, Hailey had the grace to apologize to Julia, but it's likely that she wouldn't have even considered her behavior rude if she didn't get called out for it and the video didn't go viral. The truth is, you can really make out someone's character just by how they treat those working in the service industry, like James Corden found out back in October. So apology or not, this kind of behavior is never okay, but it's good that more and more celebrities are being called out for it these days. Number 9. Racist tweets. Just a few days after she called Twitter a breeding ground for cruelty towards each other, Hailey Bieber got slammed again by Twitter users who had discovered and shared some of the model's old Twitter and Tumblr posts as supposed evidence of her racism and bigotry. It all started when she came to Justin Bieber's defense, after he revealed that he had been diagnosed with Lyme disease, and some of his fans said that he wouldn't have gotten it if he had been with Selena Gomez, which is ridiculous of course, but Hailey's response just caused the trolls to turn their attention on her. These fans then decided to dig up some old dirt about her and succeeded at doing so. They posted screenshots of tweets and Tumblr posts dating back years that showed examples of Hailey using the N-word casually, claiming she came back from Florida a different race, and using language associated with racism against the Asian community. In a tweet from January 2012, she wrote, "Shut up before I smack you back to your own country." And then in November of 2013, she wrote, "To those foreigners who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so sorry your country didn't have pilgrims and Indians to start such a sick holiday." Yeah, that was pretty indefensible. Shortly after, most tweets mentioning her past were deleted, and Hailey then decided to close her Twitter account altogether. Celebrities often forget that you can literally find everything on the internet these days, and obviously Hailey's past eventually came back to haunt her. Number 8. The Nepo Baby shirt. If you've been on the internet recently, you'll have noticed that the dreaded Nepo Baby label is becoming just as popular as the term industry plant. But the Nepo Baby label specifically refers to someone who receives privileges due to their relatives or friends being powerful. Usually it means that someone is able to get jobs because of who they know, and most of the time it's famous parents. Amidst the growing criticism surrounding the Nepo Baby discourse and the fact that she refuses to acknowledge her privilege in this aspect, Hailey bravely decided to wear a Nepo Baby t-shirt, which to many people made it seem like she was proud to be given countless opportunities over everyone else just because of her last name. As expected, this only turned more people against her. Louis Pisano, a writer for Harper's Bazaar, then tweeted out the photo with the caption, "The Hailey Bieber Nepo Baby t-shirt picture gives nothing because she gives nothing. She's not personable enough to give this staged paparazzi shot for a viral moment any personality. She doesn't act or sing. She gets in and out of cars in beige and black YSL and has a skincare line." That tweet went viral, and the crazy thing is that a lot of people seem to agree. Singer Charlie XCX then chimed in and wrote, "I respect the Nepo Baby t-shirt attempt," but the keyword there is obviously attempt. Number 7. Cultural appropriation. Hailey Bieber faced a ton of criticism after she made a TikTok video all about brownie glazed lips, where she wears brown lip liner with a clear glossy lip gloss over the top. That was coincidentally from her own beauty brand brand called Rode. So what is the problem with this kind of makeup and why was it making people angry? Well, Hailey was called out for appropriating a makeup technique that's historically been worn by Latinas and black and brown women since the 90s. Not only that, but she tried to rename the look as brownie glazed lips. So for a lot of people, that was the last straw. Naturally, her video led to an influx of primarily white influencers recreating the look on the platform and crediting her as their inspiration. As the trend took off, it became clear that this was yet another case of a white celebrity claiming to have started a beauty technique that has long been practiced by women of color. The controversy reached a boiling point when the topic began to trend on Twitter, and this is because the incident is hardly new. In fact, it's part of a larger conversation concerning cultural appropriation, specifically in beauty practices, especially when it comes to so-called trends that are popularized on platforms like TikTok and touted by influencers and celebrities. This one was a bit of a gray area considering that Hailey never specifically claimed to have invented the look, so the only real issue is that she didn't credit the origin of the makeup look. Number 6. Snubbing a fellow influencer. In June last year, Hailey was called out by an influencer who just happened to be a guest at her Rode launch party. Beauty vlogger Iris Balin attended the launch party for Hailey's skincare brand, and she said that she had a terrible experience. She posted an Instagram video explaining what went down, and apparently the whole atmosphere of the event was off. She said the event was beautiful, like it was literally a nightclub kind of thing, but the girl gets there with her friends Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner, all of her friends are there, but they have this corner that only they could be in. So basically, Hailey stayed in the VIP section at her own launch party. Iris said that she wanted to take a picture with her and was excited to hear about her brand, but Hailey refused to talk to her or even come near her. The idea is that when you're in a room full of influential beauty icons and content creators, you need to get those people on board with your new product. Iris said this girl didn't say anything, and it was the most awkward thing because there were people hovering to take pictures with her, to talk to her. This is your event, show up for your event, or have your rep people say something. But yeah, no, Hailey didn't say anything or want to talk about anything. Apparently, it was Kylie Jenner that eventually said a few words about the skincare line, but no one heard from the founder all night. Number 5. Allegations of cheating. Hailey and Justin, who recently celebrated 4 years of marriage, got together after Justin and Selena had broken off their relationship. But some people have always wondered if that was the whole real story. Interestingly enough, while she was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, Hailey actually suggested that Selena and Justin weren't as serious as everyone thought at the time. When she reconciled with Justin in June of 2018, Hailey insisted that he and Selena were not in a relationship. She spoke about their brief reunion and claimed that by that point it was just closure for them. She said, "As a woman, I would never want to get into a relationship with someone and be engaged to them and be getting married to them and be thinking in the back of my mind, I wonder if that door was really closed. I know for a fact that the reason we were able to get back together was because it was very much completely closed." She went on to say, "It was the right thing for them to close that door. It closed a chapter. I think it was the best thing that could have happened for him to move on." She said that a lot of the hate she gets comes from the perception that she stole Justin. But Hailey insisted that the only people that really know the truth of the situation and what the timeline was actually them. To this day though, the exact timeline is still debated, considering that many fans think Selena and Justin were actually in a relationship when they got back together in 2018. But of course, only they really know the truth. Number 4. Tone-deaf comments. A lot of the backlash against Hailey came when she invited Gwyneth Paltrow on an episode of her YouTube show Who's in My Bathroom, and the two of them discussed the label of nepotism, given that they both come from famous families. If you didn't know, Hailey is linked to Stephen Baldwin, William Baldwin, and Alec Baldwin, so she was born into a family of stars, and it has undeniably fast-tracked her success. Some have also argued that her marriage to Justin Bieber is also what catapulted her into the mega fame that she has now. This is mostly because Hailey tends to fall under the category of celebrities that are famous just for being famous, and is more or less considered a Hollywood socialite than anything else. When Gwyneth Paltrow appeared on the show, she spoke about being the child of famous parents and claimed that she's had to work twice as hard as someone without her connections, because apparently people are always ready to pull her down and say, "You are only there because of your dad or your mum." Hailey of course agreed with her statements that she has it harder than regular people in the industry. These comments came off as extremely tone deaf, and it really set the internet against her. Many fans have since called her out for essentially refusing to acknowledge how she got where she is today. Number 3. Ignoring Addison Rae. In May of 2021, Hailey found herself in hot water when people accused her of being rude and ignoring Addison Rae, who was her guest on Hailey's YouTube series Who's in My Bathroom. The two stars made sandwiches and sundaes while talking about their lives. At one point, Hailey asked Addison how she deals with privacy as a social media star, especially when it comes to her romantic relationships. But when Addison responded and started explaining that she has learned over the years how to keep her love life private, Hailey seems to focus on her food more than anything else. Even though the topics were pretty dark, fans noticed that Hailey would stick out her tongue while pouring sauce over ice cream and sprayed whipped cream into her mouth. Essentially, some people felt that she was rude for not paying attention to her guest on her own show. When the criticism amped up, Hailey then explained that her show is meant to be lighthearted, and that was a feeling that she wanted to convey. She said, "I just didn't want it to get too intense and too deep. I never want someone to come on who's in my bathroom and feel like I'm trying to pry information out of them or get them to talk about a subject that could potentially be sensitive or uncomfortable for them, just for the sake of views." Which, I mean, is completely fine, given that it's just the way that she wants to present her own show. Number 2, Justin Bieber's antics. After a video of the singer yelling at Hailey went viral, fans have wondered what was said and what the real story was between the husband and wife. In July of 2021, the couple were in Las Vegas to celebrate Kendall Jenner's new tequila brand 818 Tequila. After the night, a TikTok user by the name of Yanjeric23 posted a video of Justin and Hailey leaving the club with fans and bodyguards around them. In the video, you could see that they were holding hands as he yelled at her while they walked down the halls of the hotel. The clip went viral on TikTok with more than 1.2 million views, and it drew concern from fans everywhere. Before it was deleted, many users took to the comments to slam Justin for how he treated Hailey, although some fans came to his defense and said that he wasn't yelling at her out of anger but out of excitement. Then in September that same year, there was a video posted on Twitter showing Justin running away from paparazzi and fully leaving Hailey while she falls to the ground. Fans immediately took to the comments expressing their empathy for Hailey, considering that this wasn't the first time Justin just took off without her. For whatever reason, he seems to not care about the fact that he left her in an uncomfortable situation. And coming in at number 1, calling out Selena fans. Back in September, Hailey made an appearance on Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy podcast. She asked if Justin or anyone in their circle now has ever asked Selena to try and put an end to the hatred that is coming from her fans. Hailey said that she has no expectation of Selena doing that, but if that was something that she felt was necessary, then that would be amazing. She addressed the massive amounts of trolling she's received from haters all these years, when they flooded her Instagram lives with nasty comments, and when they stood outside the Met Gala in 2021 to scream Selena when she and Justin walked the red carpet. Hailey recalled that moment and said, "Yes, I could hear everyone screaming. I think there's a certain part of you that has a numbness. It was disrespectful to me, to my relationship. It just was, period. But I think I've endured so much disrespect, and I still do to this day, that there's a part of me that was just like another day, another negative slave." Hailey then hopped on TikTok to issue a direct message to people that were trolling her on social media. She said, "Leave me alone at this point. I'm minding my business. I don't do anything. I don't say anything. Leave me alone, please. That's the only request. Leave me alone. Be miserable somewhere else, please." So clearly by that point, you could tell that she'd had enough. What did Justin Bieber say about Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber? They pretty much broke the internet with their pictures together after they saw each other at the 2nd annual Academy Museum Gala in LA over the weekend. It was there that Selena and Hailey posed for the picture that would send fans into a frenzy. While the photo isn't going to completely shut down the haters, after Hailey's controversial podcast interview, at least it made Justin Bieber happy. An insider told Entertainment Tonight that he hopes this meeting would finally lead to everyone moving on. Quote, "Justin is very happy with the fact that they can all move on and that it can be peaceful between everyone," adding that Hailey and Selena wanted to prove to the world that there was no bad blood between them anymore. The source alleges that Selena and Hailey were both super chill together at the Academy Museum Gala. They've both moved on and are happy in their own lives. They wanted to show the world that there's no beef or bad feelings between them anymore. The two of them saw each other just weeks after Hailey appeared on the Call Her Daddy podcast and denied rumors that she stole Justin from Selena. When she was asked if there was ever any overlap between her relationship with Justin and his relationship with Selena, she flat out denied it, essentially saying that she is not a homewrecker and that she was never romantically involved with him while he was with another person. Hailey said, "I can say period, point blank, I was never with him when he was in a relationship with anybody, and that's the end of it," adding that it is not in her character to mess with someone's relationship, but she does understand how it looks from the outside. She said, "Even me talking about him or talking about our relationship, people will take that and be like, all she ever about is her relationship with him. And I'm like, well, we are married and he's a huge part of my life, and obviously people are very interested in our life together." Hailey and Justin, who recently celebrated 4 years of marriage, got together after Justin and Selena had broken off their relationship, but some fans wondered if that was the whole real story. In Interestingly enough, Hailey actually suggested that Selena and Justin weren't as serious as everyone thought they were at the time. She means the brief period of time where they seemed to rekindle their relationship through early 2018 until they abruptly split. When she reconciled with Justin in June of that year, Hailey insisted that they were not in a relationship. She also addressed the toxic fan base and said what it's like being the target of haters since Jelena split up for good. She said a lot of the hate and the perpetuation comes from the misconception of, oh, you stole him. It comes from the fact that they wished he had ended up with someone else. And that's fine. You can wish that all you want, but that's just not the case. She added that the only people that really know the truth of the situation and what the timeline really was and how it happened and how it went down are me and him. Hailey says that the trolls and haters have interrupted her Instagram lives, flooding her with nasty comments, and even stood outside the Met Gala in 2021 to scream Selena when she and Justin walked the red carpet. She recalled that traumatic moment saying, "Yeah, I could hear everyone screaming. I think there's a certain part of you that has a numbness. It was really disrespectful to me, to my relationship. It just was, period, the end. But I think I've endured so much disrespect, and I still do to this day, that there was a part of me that was just like another day, another negative slave." When she was asked if Justin or anyone in their circle now has ever asked Selena to try and put an end to the hatred coming from her fans, Hailey just said that she has no expectation of Selena doing that, but if that was something that she felt was necessary, then that would be amazing. But we do know that in October of 2019, following the release of her song Look at Her Now, Selena attempted to spread a message of kindness after fans accused Hailey of dissing her earlier in the week. Although she didn't mention the model by name, Selena said, "I do not stand for women tearing women down. I will never ever be by that. So please be kind to everyone. It doesn't matter what the situation is. If you're my fans, don't be rude to anybody, please. Don't go off and say things that you just feel in the moment." Apart from that, it would be unrealistic of Hailey to think that Selena has any other way to tell her haters to back off. She obviously did what she could, and it's not as though she controls everyone on the internet.
Actress and businesswoman Gwyneth Paltrow has been in many well-known movies and projects, best known by many Marvel fans as playing Pepper Potts, the wife of Iron Man. Or maybe you know her for her massively bizarre and weird and just baffling launch of her health company called Goop. She's had plenty of controversies in her time and has often been singled out for comments she has made towards other celebrities. This time she has made headlines for a comment she made towards Hailey Bieber in regards to her father that seemed to make everyone involved pretty uncomfortable. So let's go over that, and then maybe we'll recap some other Paltrow controversies and talk about Goop because I just can't get over it. Hailey Bieber hosts a vlog called Who's in My Bathroom, where she interviews different people on a bathroom set, and this time she had Gwyneth Paltrow appearing on her show. At the start of the video, everything seems pretty normal, Bieber introducing Paltrow as she walks on and goes to sit down. But as soon as the two start talking, it starts to get a little weird and uncomfortable. Gwyneth Paltrow says, "I think I know your dad and your uncles," referencing her father Stephen Baldwin and uncle Alec Baldwin. Hailey responds understandingly, saying, "That's what most people say to me," and asking if Gwyneth has any stories about them. Unfortunately for Hailey, she probably never should have asked that and just left it there, because Gwyneth goes on to bring up the time that she starred with Stephen in a movie called Mrs. Parker and the Vicious Circle way back in 1994. She says that he was actually a pleasure to work with and he was really nice. Hailey responds with relief and says, "I like hearing that. Imagine if you had some horror story. He was terrible. It was a nightmare working with him." Bieber is joking about the situation, and Gwyneth then tries to throw another joke into the mix, but it really doesn't land. She says, "That would be bad," or "if I like your dad in the bathroom." Hailey seems to get uncomfortable and starts telling Gwyneth that she actually has had that happen. People telling her that they've had sex with her father, and she's pretty sure that he doesn't know that she knows. Gwyneth laughs along and quickly tries to clear up the situation, waving her hands and saying, I didn't. And Hailey leans forward saying, "Oh, well, that's good to know." The video then continues on, and nothing else overly important really seems to happen, the video garnering over 150,000 views in just one day. People in the comments seem to have mixed opinions on Gwyneth, with some people saying that she is hilarious and well-intentioned, and others plainly stating that they just don't really like her. Now let me talk about Goop, which is slightly off topic, but I just can't talk about Gwyneth Paltrow without mentioning this, and if you're somebody who doesn't know about what Goop is, I am like obligated to educate you. Gwyneth launched the Goop brand back in 2008, starting as just a newsletter which grew into a website, fashion line, product line, podcast, health summit, and more. They have sold many controversial products on their website. The most talked about including a jade egg that would apparently regulate your menstrual cycle and raise your libido, and a candle that was genitally scented. The jade egg actually ended up with Goop having to pay around $150,000 in penalties for making medically unsubstantiated claims, a common trend on the website and in advertising of their products. They still sell the egg and a sticker that is said to fix body imbalances because it's made of NASA spacesuit material, but NASA themselves said that this simply wasn't true. After a wellness summit in 2019, many were left disappointed and were quoted as saying Gwyneth was a greedy extortionist. An attendee said, "She had a ton of security, she was unapproachable, she did the minimum, a few fireside chats with Twiggy and Penelope Cruz, then she put on her Birkenstocks and snuck out." Despite all their controversy, Goop is still running, and when I went to their website, they even advertised their 69 new arrivals.
For some reason, the internet still hasn't moved on from the Justin Bieber Selena Gomez days, as fans of Gomez decided to attack Hailey Bieber, formerly known as Baldwin, simply because she got a tattoo. I know, it's wild times. And I'm not here to shame anyone, but maybe Selena's fans need to be reminded that we're in the middle of a pandemic, and our focus shouldn't be on previous relationships. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna tell you guys all about this tattoo because really, I don't think Hailey had Selena in mind when she made the decision to get this printed on her body forever. Maybe she really is that petty. So as you likely know by now, Hailey Baldwin and Justin Bieber have been together for quite some time. It was believed the pair started seeing each other in 2015, but things were official in 2016 when Justin posted a photo of the two of them kissing on his Instagram. They lasted a short period of time. Then between 2016 and 2018, the two would see other people until ultimately getting back together in 2018, which is when they would officially wed. Ever since, the two have been seen in the public eye looking very much so like a young, happy, newly married couple. However, as we know in this world, especially when you're a celebrity, you just can't have nice things sometimes. Although celebrities tend to get a lot for money to praise, it seems no matter how rich or famous you are, you can't buy love. And that's why we cue the haters. For some strange reason, fans of Selena Gomez always try to talk about how she's better than Justin, or that Justin is still in love with her, or something to do with her coming out on top. I'm sure she's a great person, but I'm sure Justin is too, and I'm sure his wife Hailey just wants to be with her husband and live a happy life. But it seems that's not a possibility, at least if she looks at comments online, as people were very quick to point out Hailey's new tattoo looks almost identical to the J promise ring Justin gave Selena many years ago. New York City tattoo artist Mr. K took to his Instagram page, posting the fresh ink Hailey got on her finger, captioned "J is for @JustinBieber." And shortly after posting, fans of, I guess, Selena took to Twitter, making comparisons of the ring to the new tattoo. A handful of the posts just showed the tattoo and ring side by side, and included captions such as, "Wrap around my finger like a ring. Why is it in the exact same font as the J ring Justin gave Selena? And not me realizing the J is in the same font as the ring Justin had given Selena years ago. And then they cut themselves off. Now I will say, when looking at the two side by side, yes, the font of the J is very similar. Could that just be a very strange coincidence? I'm going to say yes. As we know, Selena and Justin were on again off again for quite some time. We're talking from 2010 to 2018, with the two even seeing each other for a short period of time, just months before Hailey and Justin got back together and would eventually get married. Still, with that being said, I think we gotta stop pushing this narrative that they're always thinking about each other or ways to potentially spite one another. I'm not really sure why Hailey would get a tattoo resembling the ring Justin got his ex-girlfriend when he was 18, because that's when he originally gave Selena that promise ring. 8 years ago. Almost 9 actually, because it was in February of 2012. So until someone can give me a legitimate reason as to why Hailey would ask for a tattoo that resembles the ring, I'm going to say there's no connection between the two at all. As we know, in the past, the two have spoken about each other, and usually they're pretty like low-key, little mum about it. They're like, well, you know? Still, that doesn't help because this has led to fans of either musician to make a lot of assumptions, such as the 2019 song by Gomez, "Look at Her Now," referring to Bieber when she sings about dodging a bullet. In fact, the whole song is about being in a better place after getting over an old relationship, but maybe she's not talking about Justin. We don't really know. That being said, while doing the rounds of interviews for her upcoming album, Selena did talk about how some of her new songs legitimately brought her longtime friend Taylor Swift and her mom Andrea to tears. I quote Selena saying, her and her mom just started crying. Like, just tears and tears. They were crying because of how proud they were for me stepping into a whole new era of my life and it not involving the horrible things, the abuse, the emotional chaos. Referring to a previous relationship involving horrible things, abuse, and emotional chaos is almost definitely directed at Justin, who definitely had his fair share of ups and downs while growing up in the spotlight. The same could be said for Gomez, who's now 27, but looking back, it seems Selena had a bit of an easier time breaking out of her Disney-esque role than Justin did. Regardless, I wish everyone involved in this story all the best. I hope Justin and Hailey can live happily ever after, and I hope Selena finds happiness and love, whether that be with someone else or on her own. At the end of the day, guys, I think we all deserve to be happy, and that's that. I don't think the tattoo has anything to do with Selena, just a coincidence. Maybe it's Justin's favorite font, which is why he got the ring for Selena and Hailey got the same font for Justin. Who knows?
In a video posted to TikTok, Hailey Bieber begged commenters on her social media to stop trolling her, saying to her online critics that they should just go be miserable somewhere else. The 25-year-old model seems to be completely over all of the hate that she gets on social media, and so in a message to her critics, she said, "This is for you guys in my comments every single time I post. Leave me alone at this point. I'm minding my business. I don't do anything. I don't say anything. Leave me alone, please." She then continued and said, "Enough time has gone by where it's valid to leave me alone. I beg of you, truly. That's my only request. Leave me alone, be miserable somewhere else, please." And it's still not clear what exactly prompted this public service announcement from Hailey, but it could be a culmination of all the hateful comments that she's received, but I have a feeling that it was one in particular that set this message in motion. Some people believe that she is referencing the many comments that she receives regarding Selena Gomez, who, as many of you know, dated Hailey's husband Justin on and off from 2011 to 2018. Even earlier this month, when she shared a TikTok video of herself lip-syncing to Justin's 2009 hit One Time, a number of critics tried to claim in the comments section that the song was all about Selena Gomez. For someone who isn't really fighting for the spotlight, Hailey has had to come out and set the record straight, if you will, many times. Usually if celebrities aren't as active on social media, they do become victims of just constant rumors. And for Hailey, she has probably heard every rumor under the sun at this point. Not that long ago, she also had to dismiss more pregnancy rumors after fans speculated that she and Justin were having their first child together. After appearing with Justin at this year's Grammy Awards, the model responded to an Instagram post by Radar Online that speculated she was pregnant and expecting her first child. In the Radar Online post, they said, "Fans are convinced Hailey Bieber is pregnant after she walks Grammy's red carpet in flowing gown with husband Justin Bieber." Then in their caption, they wrote, "Is a little #Belieber on the way? Fans are speculating that Hailey Baldwin is pregnant after seeing what appeared to be a baby bump during her appearance at the 2022 Grammy Awards this weekend." The model was a vision on Sunday wearing a white Saint Laurent gown while joined by her husband Justin Bieber for the star-studded ceremony, and some fans felt it was a carefully crafted style choice. I just love how they really tried to compliment the way she looked while also speculating that she was probably pregnant. Hailey attended the Grammys to support Justin, who was up for 8 Grammy nominations. He didn't end up taking any home, but he did garner a lot of press for his oversized Balenciaga suit, a pink beanie, and Crocs. A lot of the speculation about Hailey being pregnant does stem from Justin's Amazon Prime documentary called Justin Bieber Our World. In the documentary, Justin said, "My intention for 2021 is to continue to set goals and have fun while going home. Make sure I put family first, and hopefully we squish out a little nugget." And in response, Hailey said, "In 2021, with Justin replying, 'The end of 2021 when we start trying?' And she finally replied after a pause and said, 'Okay, maybe, we shall see.'" So you can see why these news outlets are constantly trying to be the ones who guess whether or not she's actually pregnant. Although in response to that post from Radar Online, Hailey commented and said, "I'm not pregnant, leave me alone," which is just hella embarrassing for Radar Online and debunks their rumor on the spot. Hailey Bieber is now getting backlash for her response to the Oscars 2022 Will Smith slapping of Chris Rock. Yesterday we saw Zoe Kravitz get canceled for her thoughts on the matter, along with Judd Apatow and many more celebrities. The Will Smith fandom seems to be out in full force, and they are attacking anyone who believes that Will was wrong for what he did. But stick around to find out why Hailey Bieber is getting so much hate right now. To remind you, Zoe Kravitz in 2 separate posts threw some shade at Will Smith. In her first caption, she wrote, "Here's a picture of my dress at the award show where we are apparently attacking people on stage now." Then in another post she wrote in the caption, "And here is a picture of my dress at the party after the award show where we are apparently screaming profanities and attacking people on stage now." Now she didn't mention anyone by name, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. And because of this take, everyone that was a fan of the Smith family decided to expose Zoe Kravitz on Twitter. I mean, the cancellation of Zoe happened immediately. One person kicked off the cancellation by quoting Zoe and calling her a predator for what she said previously about Jaden Smith. In the screen cap posted to Twitter, Zoe apparently said, "There were moments that I was hanging hanging out with Jaden and thinking, I can't believe you're 14. I have to check myself. Like what I say to you. He has so much personality and so much swag. He is so much cooler than I am, and he's so handsome. I was like, when you're older, you know, we'll hang out. Nope, that's inappropriate. You're 14. With another person adding, why was Zoe Kravitz at 26 years old attracted to 16-year-old Jaden Smith? The F is wrong with her. And attached to that tweet was a video from a red carpet interview where Zoe had gushed that she had brought a then 16-year-old Jaden to the award show as her date. Other people also took issue with her supporting the ever so problematic Alexander Wang, as well as dating Ezra Miller when they were only 17 or 18 and she was in her 20s. Now, Hailey Bieber is also getting flack for showing support to someone that the internet recently deemed problematic. Apparently, after liking Zoe's Instagram posts that were taking shots at Will Smith because he slapped Chris Rock, people have begun to turn on Hailey. The original post was deleted, which kicked off Hailey's cancellation on Twitter, but someone had screen capped what this Twitter user wrote about her upon seeing that she had simply liked Zoe's post. In the since deleted tweet, they said, your husband hates you, you're jobless, your brain is rotting, you're barren, you're a child, your uncle is a your dad is bankrupt, and your friends are always laughing at you behind your back at Hailey Bieber. And following that, people were quick to encourage the user behind this tweet, like this one user who said, Hailey Bieber liked Zoe Kravitz's post, and the caption was basically defending Chris Rock, and random non-famous homegirl bodied Hailey for liking the post. On top of that, many people started tweeting out receipts of Justin treating Hailey poorly. Another user tweeted along with a video of Justin closing the car door on Hailey and said, Hailey Bieber liking that Zoe Kravitz post like her husband doesn't treat her like this. Then in a separate tweet they said, I'd be mad too seeing another man defend his wife knowing mine slams doors in my face. Then on top of all of that, things got really serious when people started posting older screenshots that outed Hailey as a racist. In their tweet, the user posted several screenshots of tweets from Hailey and said, I was showing my sister why I'm laughing about Hailey Bieber and Alec Baldwin putting their input in the whole Will Smith Chris Rock debacle. Like a racist and a should be the last people talking.
Do you know what Hailey Bieber just said about Selena Gomez? She decided to clear the air about the rumors that she stole Justin from Selena. Well, there's three sides to every story, so let's get into what she said. Hailey made an appearance on Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy podcast yesterday and was asked if there was ever any overlap between Justin and Selena's relationship, especially right before they got married. But Hailey flat out denied it, essentially saying that she's not a homewrecker and she has never romantically been involved with him while he was with another person. She said, I can say, period, point blank, I was never with him when he was in a relationship with anybody, and that's the end of it. Hailey goes on to say that she's aware of the timing of things, especially from the outside looking in, and how that might appear like there was a quick succession of romances from Selena to Hailey, but she insists that she actually waited. She added that it was not in her character to mess with someone's relationship, but she does understand the heightened attention surrounding her marriage and how it relates to her husband's past relationships. Quote, well, I think even for starters, even me talking about him or talking about our relationship, people will take that and be like, all she ever talks about is her relationship with him. Even something like that, I'm just like, well, we are married and he's a huge part of my life, and obviously people are very interested in our life together. Hailey and Justin, who recently celebrated 4 years of marriage, got together after Justin and Selena had broken off their relationship, but some fans wondered if that was the whole real story. Interestingly enough, Hailey actually suggested that Selena and Justin weren't as serious as everyone thought at the time. She's referring to the brief period of time where they seemed to rekindle their relationship through early 2018, until they abruptly split. When she reconciled with Justin in June of that year, Hailey insisted that they were not in a relationship. She spoke more about Justin and Selena's brief reunion, and claimed that by that point it was just closure for them. She said, as a woman, I would never want to get into a relationship with someone and be engaged to them, and be getting married to them, and be thinking in the back of my mind, I wonder if that door was really closed. I know for a fact that the reason we were able to get back together was because it was very much completely closed. She went on to say that it was the right thing for them to close that door. It closed a chapter. I think it was the best thing that could have happened to him to move on. Hailey also talked about the toxic fan base and being the target of haters since Jelena split up for good. She said, there's a lot of hate, and the perpetuation comes from the misconception of, oh, you stole him. It comes from the fact that they'd wished he had ended up with someone else, and that's fine. You can wish that all you want, but that's just not the case. She added that the only people that really know the truth of the situation and what the timeline really was and how it happened and how it went down are me and him. Perception is a really tricky thing because when when you're watching something from the outside, you can see it one way, when it may not be the reality of what happened behind closed doors. The model also spoke about the trolling she received from the haters. They've interrupted her Instagram lives, flooding her with nasty comments, and stood outside the Met Gala in 2021 to scream Selena when she and Justin walked the red carpet. She recalled that traumatic moment, saying, "Yes, I could hear everyone screaming. I think there's a certain part of you that has numbness. It was disrespectful to me, to my relationship. It just was, period, the end. But I think I've endured so much disrespect, and I still do to this day, that there was like a part of me that was just like another day, another negative slave." When Alex asked her if Justin or anyone in their circle has ever asked Selena to try and put an end to the hatred that's coming from her fans, Hailey said that she has no expectation whatsoever of Selena doing that, but if that was something that she felt was necessary, then that would be amazing. In fact, the two women have spoken since her wedding to Justin, and Hailey now claims that she's ready to move on from all the drama. She said, "It's all respect, it's all love. That's also why I feel like, well, if everybody on our side knows what happened, and we're good and we can walk away from it with clarity and respect, then that's fine." The model ended the topic by saying, "You're never going to be able to correct every narrative, and there's going to be new ones that come. It's never going to end, and that's why I didn't speak about a lot of this stuff." So clearly, Hailey understands that at the end of the day, it's impossible to please everyone.
American model and television personality Hailey Baldwin Bieber seems to have gotten herself into some trouble over the launch of her new skincare line called Rhode. Before starting the line, she said that she had always dreamed of starting her own line, but didn't get serious about it until the last couple years, making time to meet with chemists and dermatologists and test out the samples with family and friends. She had a sit-down interview with People and said the following: "What sets Rhode apart is we're putting out a very curated, edited line of essentials. Our philosophy is making one of everything really good. For me, that spans across all things in my life, from beauty to how I edit my wardrobe. It's like that one really good pair of jeans you're always reaching for, that one really good blazer you keep going back to. That's how I look at skincare as well, the one really good moisturizer you keep reaching for." The debut started with 3 products available on their website, all for under $30. Hailey saying that she wanted to make the makeup available for everyone, saying it was a party everyone was invited to. But it looks like that party might just get crashed by a 9-year-old fashion line that shares the exact same name. The co-founders of the company, Perna Katow and Phoebe Vickers, are suing her for trademark infringement due to the companies sharing the same name. According to the court filings, they said that since launching the company in 2013, they have dedicated themselves to growing and nurturing the Rhode brand through much personal sacrifice and hardship. It is now apparently a very reputable brand sold in luxury stores and has been worn by celebrities like both Beyonce and Rihanna, and they're apparently expected to make $14.5 million this year. According to the company, they hold the Rhode trademark for many different clothing items and accessories, and had been planning to expand into household items and skincare. They said that as soon as Hailey's skincare line was launched, they immediately began to see confusion in the marketplace. They also said that Instagram had originally promised them the @Rhode handle, but they had then gone back on that and allowed Hailey Bieber to take the username, specifically noting the joint Instagram post between the new account and Bieber's own account that has already gained around 700,000 likes. They also said that more confusion has already been caused due to celebrities having tagged Hailey's new skincare account when wearing their clothing items instead of their official account @ShopRhode. Katow said, "We have real concerns about the future. We put blood, sweat, and tears into this brand for years. It is disappointing to me that an entrepreneurial woman who we've long been fans of is trying to stifle what we have built." And her partner Vickers seemed concerned about a TikTok comment where Hailey said that she wanted to make Rhode into a full lifestyle brand and that she would be releasing clothes in the future under the Rhode name. The two have asked in the documents that Hailey stop using the name Rhode for her brand and completely change the name of the skincare line, saying, "The brand Rhode is everything we have worked hard to achieve, and her using our name is hurting our company, our employees, our customers, and our partners." They also said that Hailey had even attempted to buy the name from them 4 years ago, but they had declined. And here's what their lawyer had to say about the situation. "We of course understand that Hailey wants to use her middle name for her brand, but the law on this is clear. You can't create this kind of brand confusion just because you want to use your name. What Miss Bieber is doing is harming a minority co-owned business that two women have painstakingly built into a growing global brand. Justin Bieber seems to think his wife has put her own fair share of work into growing the brand. Him saying, "I'm so proud of you, baby. No one knows the long hours of care and passion that you have put into building a skincare brand that is truly to serve the people." In the caption of the post, he continued on, saying, "The most beautiful thing about you is your care to protect people with good ingredients that will help their skin to flourish like you did for me and my skin. And so many people are going to have beautiful, dewy skin because of your desire to give them access to the best." Definitely sounds like a PR person wrote that for him, but that's just my opinion.
Hailey Bieber recently had to address more pregnancy rumors after appearing with Justin Bieber at this year's Grammy Awards. The model responded to an Instagram post by Radar Online that speculated she was pregnant and expecting her first child. In the Radar Online post they said, "Fans are convinced Hailey Bieber is pregnant after she walks Grammy's red carpet in flowing gown with husband Justin Bieber." Then in their caption they wrote, "Is a little #Belieber on the way? Fans are speculating that #Hailey Baldwin is pregnant after seeing what appeared to be a baby bump during her appearance at the 2022 Grammy Awards this weekend." The model was a vision on Sunday wearing a white Saint Laurent gown while joined by her husband Justin Bieber for the star-studded ceremony, and some fans felt it was a carefully crafted style choice. I love how they really tried to compliment the way she looked while also speculating that she was pregnant. I mean, what a backhanded compliment that was. Hailey also attended the Grammy Awards to support Justin, who was up for 8 Grammy nominations. He didn't end up taking any home, but he did garner a lot of press for his oversized Balenciaga suit, a pink beanie, and Crocs. A lot of this speculation about Hailey being pregnant stems from Justin's Amazon Prime documentary called Justin Bieber Our World. In the documentary, Justin said, "My intention for 2021 is to continue to set goals and have fun while going home. Make sure I put family first and hopefully we squish out a little nugget." Hailey responded with, "In 2021? With Justin replying, "The end of 2021, we start trying?" And she finally replied after a pause and said, "Okay, maybe, we shall see." So you can see why there's news outlets out there constantly trying to be the ones who guess whether or not she's actually pregnant. Although in response to that post from Radar Online, Hailey commented and said, "I'm not pregnant, leave me alone," which is hella embarrassing for Radar Online and debunks their rumor right on the spot. The false pregnancy report comes not that long after Hailey just had a health emergency. If you didn't hear, last month Hailey Bieber was hospitalized with a brain condition that doctors believe to be a blood clot. On her Instagram stories, Hailey let her fans know what was going on and said, "On Thursday morning I was sitting at breakfast with my husband when I started having stroke-like symptoms and was taken to the hospital. They found I had suffered a very small blood clot to my brain, which caused a small lack of oxygen, but my body had passed it on its own and I recovered completely within a few hours. Although this was definitely one of the scariest moments I've ever been through. I'm home now and doing well, and I'm so grateful and thankful to all the amazing doctors and nurses who took care of me. Thank you to everyone who has reached out with well wishes and concern and for all the support and love." And during one of Justin's stops for his Justice World Tour, the Biebs took a moment to address what happened to his wife. He explained that despite this scary emergency, she was doing very well and making a full recovery. Following a power outage during the show in Denver, he took a second to speak about what happened. At the show he said, "You know, it's kind of crazy how life randomly throws you curveballs. You know, we can't really control much. You know, tonight the power cutting out, obviously you guys know, most of you probably know or have seen the news about my wife. Not sure if you guys have seen, but she's okay, she's good, she's strong. But it's been scary, you know, it's been really scary, but I know for a fact that God has her in the palm of his hands, and that's a good thing." A source close to the couple also told the press that Justin had been very worried for Hailey after this health scare, which must have made it very difficult to just go back on tour even. The insider goes on to say, "Hailey doesn't want anyone to worry about her, but it was a terrifying situation for both of them. Justin is still very worried. He can barely sleep. He stays up watching her while she rests." At the end of the day though, we're happy to hear that she's just doing much better and she's not pregnant. TikTok is running wild with theories right now that Justin Bieber had to calm down Hailey after the crowd began to chant Selena's name at her, causing a mini breakdown during the Met Gala. After a video turned up on TikTok, fans are continuing to rally around Justin Bieber and Hailey after it appears that some people in attendance for the Met Gala decided to taunt her by repeatedly yelling Selena Gomez's name at them. Back on Monday evening, the couple made a big red carpet appearance at the New York City Metropolitan Museum of Art for the 2021 Met Gala, with Justin showing up in a classic tuxedo and Hailey wearing a black Saint Laurent gown. Although
Although shortly after the celebrity couple arrived, videos started popping up all over social media that showed the audience chanting the name of Bieber's ex. The unwarranted attacks led to numerous fans expressing their support for both Justin and Hailey, who have been married since September of 2018, with many more condemning bitter Selena Gomez fans for being obsessed with the past. So far, neither Justin nor Hailey have commented on this incident, but let's break down the video a bit for you. In the TikTok, it appears as though the couple react to the taunts, meaning that they can actually hear the Selena chants, and then you can see Justin trying to tell Hailey not to cry. The footage then transitions to another point where it appears as though Bieber tells Hailey "I love you" as he wipes away tears from her eyes. Furthermore, a concerned Bieber can be seen putting his hand up to Hailey's face, attempting to comfort her with the caption suggesting that he said, "Don't cry, don't cry." Hailey was then filmed reaching for a pair of dark sunglasses that were being held onto by an assistant. She quickly puts on those sunglasses and would wear them for a portion of the evening while they posed for photographers. In the caption of the TikTok, the user who pieced this together writes, "So disrespectful, he loves her so much." One person who claimed to be a Selena fan also condemned this unnecessary chanting and said, "As a Selena fan, Selena would actually be disappointed. She would never want us to do that." Now in the past, Hailey has shared her true feelings about what it's like being married to Justin Bieber, especially when hate like this comes her way. She has even been to therapy just to work through her reactions to the trolling. While speaking about this, Hailey said, "I've had to work a lot of this through with a therapist because it had got to a point where they'd gotten way too crazy for me and I was really anxious all the time. The thing that bothers me the most is that a lot of people online really want me to be a not nice person. They expect me to be mean and they call me a bitch. You've never even met me in person, you don't know me." She also added that sometimes it's easy for her to feed into the narrative that people are spreading and even start believing it herself. However, Justin has occasionally gone out of his way to shut down trolls and continually makes it a priority to share just how happy he is with Hailey. What's worse is that this bullying by the crowd took place on the couple's 3rd wedding anniversary. What an awful way to spend your evening, just spinning down a dark path in your mind about your husband's ex while you're supposed to be celebrating and enjoying your night? Ugh, no thanks. Ireland Baldwin also came out to defend the couple on TikTok, writing in the comments of one of the videos that Justin and Hailey are one of the happiest and most in love couples I've ever gotten the chance to be around.